So of course, a couple of hours ago, we had the solo leveling OverDrive. It's now kind of hit the social media. People have started to pick up on it and be like, solo leveling game, interesting. A few things to talk about now. Now it's come to light. Now obviously, the key thing which I was kind of seeing between the two is that solo leveling Arise, with the OverDrive game, the game looked very similar. Like, is there any form of correlation? Seems to be that might be the case. Now, first things first, we hit the 3K mark, so if you guys do log on in, you will have these beautiful rewards. There we go, so make sure to claim all of that. Also, as per usual, still waiting on the codes, but again, if you guys want to support me, down below in the description is the monthly giveaway that I do for my supporters. As little as it may be, we'll still give back as much as possible, so I do appreciate all of that. If you guys do want to support your boy, greatly appreciated on that end. But anyway, coming back to solo leveling Arise, like I've said, obviously we've had some form of multiplayer aspect for this game, and it was during the Jeju Island, of course, when it came to fighting Beru. The only difference is that we weren't able to see the other real-time players that we were playing with. It was us on our own fighting Beru, and then the other two players had their own little kind of room, as you could say. Right. Now, just before all of that, I do want to quickly get into the collaboration. A few things have been mentioned. So during the 26th of June, the collab units will start appearing in the lobby, and it seems that on July 3rd is when they're more than likely scheduled. Talking about that Wind Hunter, because I know that's a bit of a question mark up in the air for a lot of people on what that's going to be. 90% sure she's going to be support with sub DPS utility. It kind of makes sense with how, well, actually no, majority are break sub DPS. Okay, that's fine. Either way, yeah, I do think that it's more than likely going to be a wind support. It is kind of needed, should I say. A bit of, well, Hansami is not exactly that outdated, but with where the game is, I do think a wind support will be the better choice rather than dropping another wind DPS. So just quickly wanted to mention the collaboration of things, of course. But yeah, when it comes to solo leveling Arise OverDrive, there is going to be some form of correlation between the two games. Apparently there's going to be a big update in store for when OverDrive does drop, or maybe leading up to it, of course. Again, it is dropping fall 2025 this year, of course, so that's going to be exciting. And again, it is a part of the same game. Kind of makes sense, again, looking into the, I mean, I'll play the trailer. But yeah, it does make sense to say it's a part of the same game because, again, in terms of the gameplay and the way it looks and whatnot, it's kind of exactly, well, yeah, it is exactly the same. So I guess this is their way of kind of, it's a bit of a weird way, because the only thing which I was really thinking of is, okay, first of all, is this going to be free to play, or are we going to have to pay? I mean, they could make us, well, I mean, if we do have to pay, I'm expecting like $10 or something smaller, because this doesn't look too big of a game, because the concept of this game is that it is a raid co-op type of game mode. So realistically, we're going in with 3 other players, taking on a boss, and that's basically the premise of this game. That is it. There's no single player, there's no solo type of play at all. This is specifically multiplayer. So this is, I think this is their way of being like, okay, since we can't do solo leveling Arise and introduce some form of multiplayer to the point that on what we want, they've decided to kind of implement it in a separate game. So I don't know if there's going to be, well, there's going to be some form of connection between the two, in terms of what that is, maybe through challenges. I'm not sure. By the way, that Monarch transformation for Sun Jin looks absolutely stunning. I can't get enough of that. Oh, what? Wait, hold on a minute. That was, wait, that didn't show up before. Wait, what did it mean? Wait, hold on a minute. Wait, what? Coming to fall 2025 to Xbox PC. Okay. Coming to 2026 to Xbox Series X and X. Oh, okay. I was about to say. I was like, hold on a minute. What's going on here? All right. So here's the site, or I guess the Xbox site. So just to confirm, this is going to be on Xbox and PC. There is no PlayStation, which is weird, right? I feel like PlayStation would have been a big hitter, to be honest. 'Cause I feel like majority, or not majority, but most people have PlayStations, I want to say. So that's kind of a bit of a weird one to why it's kind of Xbox exclusive with obviously PC, of course. So yeah, bit of a weird one on that one. But Either way, it does say single player, so shared split screen. Okay, cross-platform makes sense. Solo leveling is a webtoon. Okay, okay. So become a monarch of the shadow through intense solo combat with 4-player co-op raids, which we know about. But it says solo single player, so I assume that we can also like obviously go about doing it on our own if need be. But having that more player option will be fun as per usual. Join Sun Jinu on his journey to become the world's strongest hunter. Dive into both the original story from the webtoon and new adventure exclusive to the game. So, I mean, is this like? I mean, well, clearly it's going to be like its own standalone game. Clearly, with what's been said, I'm just again the big thing which I want to know is when the update does drop for Solo Leveling Arise. Yeah, what will it entail? So again, just to kind of clarify that there is going to be a form of correlation between the two. But the question is, what is it? Anyway, elevated action. So this kind of talks about what we already know. So like extreme evasion, powerful counterattacks, perfect parry, of course. So build your own unique combat style through a skill tree and branches into 8 different job advancements. So there's going to be something. Okay, this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. Okay, Sun Jinu, the Monarch of the Shadows, overwhelmed the battlefield with abilities unlocked through your Monarch's Awakening. Experience Sun Jinu transformation in the ultimate Monarch of Shadows. So that's so that's the succeeding Ashmon, of course. So yeah, that's what we've seen in the trailer, or right here, should I say? Bap, looking absolutely menacing. So yeah, 4-player co-op, which we already knew about. Choose between fighting as Sun Jinu or as a party of other hunters and take them out. Oh, okay, so this is another thing which I was curious on whether or not if they would do this, because obviously with the co-op they've only shown us with everyone being Sun Jinu, of course. I'm curious on whether or not if they'll make it so that we can use other hunters, i.e. what we've seen within Arise currently, right, with all the hunters that we have. Defeat monsters in the field to use the various items you obtain from them to craft weapons. Oh, this is going to be interesting. So in order to get Baron's weapon, we're going to have to beat the crap out of him and get his sword and daggers. Well, that's going to be interesting. Okay, so alright, we're starting to get a bit of a feel on what this game is about. Because again, just watching that trailer alone, I'm just trying to figure out on what the point is of all of this when it comes to just fighting the bosses themselves. So beating the bosses, get their weapons, going through the story, progressing and getting stronger. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Of course, there's going to be a tree system for Sun Jinu with 8 different placements, or advancements, sorry, that we can take. So again, that will be interesting to see. But I assume what Netmarble are going to be doing is using this to be like, hey, you guys wanted that online play experience, correct? Bet, we got you. It's over there. And then I'm guessing at the very most, there'll be some hype, excitement for promotion for the game through Arise itself, and then they'll probably do like a challenge thing where if you link your accounts, you play the game, you get some rewards. I think at most that's probably what we're looking at, but if there's more to it, that'd be exciting. But I think that's more than likely what's going to be the case on in terms of more will be announced through upcoming updates in Arise itself for OverDrive. So I think that's going to be the case. Hopefully I'm wrong, hopefully there's more to it, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, maybe it's the case of connect your account and then you being able to use the hunters that you have on your account. That could be something. Weaponry wise, that's not going to be the case since we just found out that we have to beat the bosses to get their weapons. So yeah, but I'm curious on whether or not if they'll make it so that we can use these characters. Yeah, again, I don't know what the connection is between the two, but we'll have to wait to see. But it is confirmed as they are the same game, of course. So anywho, that's just a little bit more info on what's going down. But yeah, there's our online experience. If you have an Xbox, if you have a PC, you can experience OverDrive. It's weird on why PlayStation isn't involved. That doesn't make sense. I'm hoping they'll add it at a later time, but yeah, I'm very confused on why PlayStation is left out on this one. Very confused.